Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Rhonda Farrell, the success strategist, bringing you week 28 of Spotlight on Success. And today we are talking about mastering the art of scaling strategies for sustainable growth. And why is this important? Because as we progress through 2024 into 2025, 2026, we need to focus not only on growth, and I'll explain the difference in just a moment, but we need to get to the point where we're scaling. And so as we think about what stage we are in with our organizational cycle, we need to understand, are we growing, i.e., are we increasing revenue along with a proportional increase in costs? Or are we ready to scale? And that's really increasing revenue without a substantial increase in costs. And why does that matter? Is because then we're building on efficiencies, we're building on our capabilities, we're streamlining our costs. And that's when we can get to 2x, 5x, 10x, 25x, right? So we want to be able to understand and build a scalable business model so that we can focus on that scaling, exponential scaling progression early and often. So again, number one, readiness to scale. We need to understand when we have consistent revenue growth, when we have stronger customer demand, and when we have built in a baseline of operational efficiencies, and that's the signal for our readiness to scale. We have a normalized baseline of growth, activity, and operational efficiencies, and then we're probably ready. Doesn't mean you're all the way ready, but you have a baseline of readiness. I'm not saying don't focus on taking scaling actions before then. I'm just signaling that as you're looking at your growth cycle and scaling cycle, that you're going to see revenues increasing and costs decreasing when you start focusing on these scaling efforts. And the first thing we want to do is build a scalable business model, right? So if we look at this, how we can really proactively position our organizations to do this, we're going to say, do we have a scalable business model? Are there replicable processes? Is there technology infrastructure to leverage? Is there high margin products or services that we have in our balanced portfolio that we're currently offering? Or do we have those things under development in process of being built out so then we can capitalize on those? We need to look at scalable revenue streams. So is there different revenue models that we can begin to put into place? Subscriptions, licensing, franchising, etc., that lend themselves to scalability, right? So again, I'm going to be looking at that balanced portfolio of products and services, passive and active, and trying to get for scale as much passive growth as we can. And that's through subscriptions, licensing, franchising, any type of referral partnerships, etc., where you really don't have to do anything active day to day. You just have an offering that is being promoted in some way, shape, or form so that others can harness and utilize it while you reap the monetary rewards. And then last but not least, it's really studying, right? We can't get from 0 to 100 with regard to the scalability unless we understand what actually works. So we need to go look at the case studies. We need to look at global businesses that have already successfully built out scalable models and have explained their models effectively so that you can then go leverage and put in place those components and take the actions necessary for you to reap those rewards, right? You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You need to find out who's doing the thing that you want to be doing, who's already done it, who's been successful. What is their recipe for success, and how can you harness that in your particular business? An aspect that's not listed on this infographic, but which is just as important, is in that growth versus scaling analysis, we need to understand the importance of financial health, securing funding, and financial forecasting, right? So we've talked a little bit about that in prior sessions, and we'll talk about that again in a future session where we'll deep dive into some of these things. But for now, we want to be focused on our financial planning and management. We want to make sure we have strong financials. We are maintaining healthy cash flows. We are discussing various funding options for scaling. So maybe we need a loan, maybe we need a grant, maybe we need a partnership, maybe we need an angel investor, and maybe we need a partnership, right? All of those allow us to scale. So again, growth is increased revenue with increased cost. Scaling is increased revenue without the increase in cost. And instead, we want to be driving cost efficiencies. So grants, longer term loans, other things that are not going to drive up our cost exponentially, but versus allow us to take a step forward in our technological infrastructure without necessarily having and being able to reap a large scale revenue capitalization without having a parallel cost increase. The next thing is people, right? Now that we have the business model, now that we have the infrastructure, now that we have the processes, now that we have the strategic framework and operational framework with which to move forward to scale, now we need the people and the leadership development in order to capitalize on that, right? We can't go from 0 to 100 if we don't have our people on board, our executives on board, our customers and our clients and our partnerships, right? All of them can help you scale, because in large part, you may even be able to leverage part of their technological and process improvements in order to move yourself forward at the same time as you're serving them in some capacity, right? So do not count out the immediate surround sound that you already have from an interconnectedness point of your organization, of your executives, your leadership team, your workforce, your management, your partnerships, your clients, right? Each and every one of them potentially has the intelligence, has a solution, has an improvement, has an innovation that you can leverage. It's you being open to that. And being open to that, you have to prime your people to be able to inquire and able to be curious and able to understand what are others doing in this space to exponentially capitalizing on their scalability capabilities. So again, strong leadership team, talent acquisition and retention, employee development programs, harnessing your partnerships, harnessing your customers, harnessing the ecosystem, right? The intelligence, the business intelligence that AI can bring you in the ecosystem with regard to your next step, your next step, your next step with regard to scaling. You can even ask AI for your particular industry, for your organization size, for your niche, for your particular size, for your particular momentum. What is the next 3 steps you can take with regard to scaling for sustainable growth, right? And you can get coaching and consulting from firms like Global Innovation Strategies and myself, Dr. Ron Farrell, the success strategist, who could come in and help you scale exponentially, right? We want to get you 2x, 5x, 10x, and then up to 25x, right? So what is the ROI that you're looking for? What is the scaling time frame? Let's get you the expertise that you need to be able to hit it out of the park for your investors, for your executive team, for your workforce. Then we're going to move on to quality and customer satisfaction through the lens of being able to create scalable systems and processes, right? We can only maintain quality and customer satisfaction if we have technologically the infrastructure with which to understand how well we're serving them. If we have process optimization that interacts with them on a real-time basis to understand what is the level of quality, do we have quality escapes, how well are we serving them, how are we driving continuous improvement, what do we need to do to enhance our product and service quality and or our service and satisfaction levels, how do we have personalized service? Do we have loyalty programs? Do we have responsive support in the case that there is an issue or a challenge that needs resolution, right? So technology, process optimization, infrastructure expansion, in order to help us better understand, maintain, and grow quality and customer satisfaction for our across our balanced portfolio and for our organization writ large. We can use these just as much internally as we can externally. And when we drive them internally, you get exponential ROI on the external delivery of your products and services, because you will have eaten your own dog food and understand what it takes to move the needle for them. Last but not least is the competitive strategies area, right? We really need to understand how to best navigate market changes such as AI, right? And we really need to understand the competitions that's there and what do we need to do to differentiate. How do we create unique value propositions? How do we niche target? And how do we create strategic partnerships, right? It's all about the strategic tactics for differentiation, right? We want to be focused on agility, adaptability. We want to be able to harness AI to help us pivot and innovate. We want to be understanding how we can conduct regular market analysis, how we can stay most informed about the industry trends that matter most to us, what is going on in our competitive landscape, and then what are the emerging opportunities that we can seize early and often. So again, this is Dr. Rhonda Farrell, the success strategist, bringing you week 28 of Mastering the Art of Scaling Strategies for Sustainable Growth. We hope that you have found value and that this will impact your ability to scale going forward. If you need a support and services from a consulting and coaching, we're happy to help you out on your journey of success. Remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint, and we're here to help shine the light of opportunity on your success journey going forward. Again, you can reach us at advisor1@successstrategist.com or CEO@GBLINNOV-StratLLC.com. This is Dr. Rhonda Farrell signing off for today, and we look forward to serving you and offering you more value and impact in week 29.